Welcome to r/Entitled People, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories. The first story: she almost burned down the house and demands that her neighbor pays the fine. The second story: she asks for a free drink without any explanation. The third story: lady causes a ski crash with a mountain employee, then curses out the employee. She loses her very expensive week-long pass as a result. The first story is Friend and Flatmate when entitled. I moved to a new city to finish my bachelor's degree. This was the last semester, and I needed practical work to gain my last points. I landed a job in Oslo and found a place to live, sharing a flat with 2 people. Me and the other girl had a lot in common. We both worked in the same field. Her front of house and security in some venues, and I worked as a lighting technician, freelancing, and in a few theaters as a temp. We got along so well that we decided to move out once our lease was up and rent another place together, only the 2 of us. Around the same time, she got a new job, and she could work from home and make her own homes. Since I was happy for her and she would be home way more than me, we agreed she could have the biggest room, and rent should still be split equally. A few months into this 3-year lease, she started to change. She got really self-centered, and I couldn't stand to be around her. All of a sudden, she said things like, "I'm better than you. My job is better than yours. I make at least twice what you make. You're a nobody and can't do anything for me." This ended in me not wanting to be around her, and I moved all my stuff into my room, only going out to use the kitchen or the bathroom. She also chose to spend thousands of dollars on new fancy dresses instead of paying me back $25 for the internet bill, saying she didn't think it was important to pay me back. New clothes were more important. Sorry for the long backstory, but I needed to give you an image of how EFM, entitled Flatmate, was as a person. During our last year living together, I was working myself hard. Normal hours for a tech in Norway is 35.5 hours a week, and I was working at least 80 hours a week for over 2 months, with only 1 day off in that entire time span. That meant I was out the door before 7 a.m. and home after midnight, so I showered and went straight to bed. I was too tired to do anything else. One night I dreamt of a car alarm and it didn't stop. Then another sound chimes in. Wait, a doorbell? This didn't fit into my dream. So I woke up. Indeed, someone was ringing our doorbell, and the fire alarm was going off in the building. Central fire alarm. My eyes were groggy and I went to open the door. It was 4 a.m. This guy was looking at me. He didn't say a word, so I asked him, "What's going on? Is it really burning?" Remember, I've been working over 200% for over 2 months. This guy just looked at me with a shocked face and said, "Girl, the alarm is going off from your apartment." This made me wake up. I looked around and indeed our entire apartment was covered in gray, thick smoke. I went to the kitchen, as I assumed my flatmate was cooking. No open flames, thankfully, so I turned the oven off and opened it. Opened all windows in the apartment before walking into Sleeping Beauty's "She's a Beast" room. She had fallen asleep with a pizza in the oven. And now the fire department, police, and ambulance was on the spot. The police took statements and the firemen looked in the oven and made sure all windows were open. Things went on till 5 a.m. and she had to take the blame, as it was her fault. I was offered to be checked out by the ambulance personnel since I had inhaled a lot of smoke, but I declined. Just wanted 1 more hour of sleep before I had to leave for another day at work. I was told to go to the ER if I felt any discomfort throughout the day, as smoke damages can accrue late. That evening, mid-second shift, I started having problems breathing. So I finished the show and my boss sent me off an hour early to go to the ER. I was quickly put on oxygen, not even 5 minutes after I arrived, and seen by a doctor 2 hours later. My throat was swollen from the smoke, but thankfully no lasting problems. Just 3 weeks of breathing heavily. No heavy lifting. Reminder, I'm a lighting technician. Heavy lifting is 60% of my job. My bosses were really nice about it, and I got to take it easy the next 3 weeks. After hours at work in the ER, I came home to EFM. She demanded I pay half the fine she got from the fire department. I mean, she could have killed me, and now she's expecting me to pay $600? I exploded. To all of you wanting and dreaming about going off on an entitled person, it felt amazing. I went on a heavily worded anger spree and told her she could have killed me. She could have burned the building down. She had my throat swollen, and she wanted me to pay $600? Even after her ranting on how much more money she made than me, and that I was basically trash for making so much less than her, I basically told her to pee off. She stood there like an idiot, not knowing what to say, as I went to my bedroom to try to calm down and get some sleep. It's now 2 years later. I'm glad I bought my own place, and I'm never having a flatmate again. She's tried to reach out during this time, and I've just ignored her. She isn't worth my time. I have so many stories about this girl's entitled behavior since she got that new job. I believe you treat people the way you want to be treated regardless of their work situation. Just because you got a better paid job doesn't mean you get to treat me like a C. Just FYI, I love my work. I love being creative and making shows magical through lighting. I actually get to do my passion for a living. The second story is, I'm not paying for that. EP doesn't tell us we owe them a remade drink after a mistake. Another crazy at the cafe I work at. As usual, me, EP, is the entitled person. Bar is a barista coworker. Soup is supervisor. We're working the tail end of the morning coffee rush. I'm making drinks, Bar's on till, and Soup is in the back. EP comes to the till, and I'm close enough to hear the exchange. Bar, hey there, what can I get you? EP, can I get a large peppermint marble mocha with normal whip instead of peppermint and no chocolate shavings? Bar, sure, anything else? EP, no, that's all. Bar, alright, that'll be $5.67. EP, I'm not paying. EP then goes to start walking away. Both Bar and I exchange confused looks. Bar, sorry, you're not paying. EP, nope. She turns to me as I'm working to make a drink. Can you make sure I get the peppermint whip instead of the normal? Me, still confused. You mean normal instead of peppermint? EP, yeah, sorry. Bar, ma'am, you still need to pay. EP, no I don't. Me, I'm sorry, but you need to pay, ma'am. Behind her, the lineup is just as confused as us. EP, annoyed. I don't need to pay, and I'm not going to. Bar, still unsure of what to do. Alright then. Would you like me to cancel your order? EP, no, no, no. What? Cancel? No. Me, I'm sorry, ma'am, but if you don't pay, then I'm not making you anything. EP going full Karen with crossed arms. Excuse me? This is your job. Bar, you still need to pay, ma'am. EP, go get your manager then. Me, our manager is off shopping for the store right now. Our supervisor is in though. EP, fine, whatever, go get them. Bar shrugs at me and I pause making drinks to go get Soup. Bar said that while I was gone, someone in the lineup of like 2 to 3 people offered to pay for her order, just to get things moving again. EP refused flat out to accept payment, because why should someone pay for me when I don't have to? Meanwhile in the back, I try to warn Soup about what's waiting for them outside. When I come back, EP just looks more annoyed. EP before Soup can say anything. So what's the deal here? Soup trying to defuse the situation. Sorry miss, but can you explain what's going on here? EP, excuse me, but that's what I'm asking you. Don't turn the question around. That's what you have to tell me. Soup, well, my employees are telling me you're refusing to pay for your drink, I guess? EP, right, so why are you making me pay? Soup, now just as bewildered. Because, why do you think you don't need to pay? EP jabbing her finger into the plexiglass in front of the espresso bars. Why are you ignoring my question? Why are you making me pay for a drink you owe me? Soup, wait a minute, we owe you? EP, yes, you owe me my freaking peppermint mocha because you screwed it up yesterday. Soup pauses for a moment. Did you call us yesterday around 11:30 a.m.-ish? EP, yes, oh my effing god, could you make this more difficult? Why are you making me pay when you said I could just come in and get a free one? Soup leans over to speak quietly to me. Just make her drink. Soup turns to EP. Right, okay ma'am, I think I remember hearing my coworker take that call. We'll make that drink for you, but I have to ask you to just be clearer next time. EP, what's there to be clearer about? You owe me a new mocha, it's that simple. Soup points to both me and Bar. Yeah, but they don't know who you are and what we promised you. EP, well they should. At this point, I finish making up her drink and set it out on the counter without saying anything. Soup's pulled her over to the side, and at this point I can't make out all the specifics of what they're talking about. The general gist of it is, Soup said EP should have let us know that we owed her a remake, that we do it all the time, and that our manager told her to let us know who she spoke to, so we could look her up in our mistake credit book. EP meanwhile kept on going on and on about how we should have known her. She was very specific on the call, that everyone should be on the same page for communication, and that it's unacceptable that we didn't recognize a return customer like that. After EP left in a hurry, Soup looked up yesterday in the mistake credit book, and sure enough, EP was in there, full name, phone number, everything. She could have just said I talked to the manager, and we probably wouldn't have done more than just glance at the entry, and we would have gladly given her a free drink without question. And the last story is, I do work here, and your vacation is over. Quite a few years ago, I worked as a ski school supervisor at a mountain resort. One day earlier in the season, it's slow, so I decided to go take a run with one of my coworkers. Since I've been on my skis a lot, I grabbed to opt my snowboard for this particular jaunt. This is important later. So me and my buddy are out and about for a couple of runs, and it's time to head back in to check for lessons. We're down off the main mountain and just cruising along a green, easy run that leads back to the base area. Like I said, it's a slow day, so there's nobody around. Or so I think. I'm making regular smooth turns on my board when out of nowhere I hear a woman from behind me screech, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" Before I can even flinch, I feel something hit the tail of my board. I get spun around and go down kinda hard. For a moment, the red rage light blinks in my head, but I think, okay, we're in a beginning area. She might not have had control. It was an accident. Be cool. I pull myself up off the snow and calm myself down. I look down the hill, and there are two Karens standing about 50 yards downhill. Obviously, one of them was the one that hit me. Cool. They've stopped to make sure I'm okay and apologize. I slide down to them and open my mouth to check if they're okay. Before I can even get one word out of my mouth, Karen 1 starts screaming at me. "What the F do you think you're doing? You could have killed me. You effing snowboarders are a menace. You don't belong on the mountain." And on it goes. Screaming at me, cursing at me, calling me all sorts of names. One important note, there are a set of rules that govern skiing, and one of them is that skiers and riders ahead of you have the right of way. Just like driving, if you hit someone from behind while skiing, you're 100% at fault. I try to interrupt politely to tell her this, but Karen is having none of it. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, F you, Karen. I'm tearing you a new a-hole once you're finished yelling. I look over at my buddy for backup, and suddenly my rage-filled brain realizes something. My buddy is in full uniform. I look down. Black pants, blue and gray jacket with the resort logo on front and back, bright shiny gold name tag that says supervisor under my name, and a radio mic clipped to my collar. Yeah, I'm in full uniform too. At this point, I'm dumbfounded. Is this woman seriously screaming and cursing at two mountain employees after she just caused a crash? What? Then I get calm and hold out my hand for her to stop. I have no idea why, but Karen stops screaming. I reach up to the radio mic and call ski patrol. I ask them to have the patrol director on duty meet me at the base area. It's at this point that it finally dawns on Karen that she's effed up. She starts asking why I called patrol and what I'm gonna do. I just shrug. She starts saying she doesn't want me following her and to leave her alone. Again, we're almost inside of the base. There's nowhere else to go other than to follow this trail down. She realizes she's stuck and skis down with her friend. Her friend at this point looks mortified, by the way. We get to the base, and the patrol director is standing there with another patroller. I give a recap of the events, including some of the graphic things she told me to do to myself and multiple family members. The patrol director rolls his eyes and then pulls out wire cutters. Karen's eyes go wide and is like, "No, you can't take my ticket. It's a 5-day ticket, we just got here today. This is our vacation. Tickets are over $75 per day, so we're talking like a $350 ticket this lady has on." The patrol director just shrugs and says, "Well, ma'am, then you just made a very expensive mistake," and clips the ticket at that point. My coworker and I beat a retreat back to the ski school because we want no part of the fallout. I hope you love these stories. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to know when the new videos come out.